Audience, take 3, real quick. Happy 4th class. Got it. 30 of 32 first-round draft picks in the 2017 NFL Draft were multi-sport athletes in high school. This is a statistic that surprises many people, as in today's culture of sports, many young athletes are pushed to specialize into a single sport far too young in their careers. If it is good enough for 30 of 32 supreme, top-of-the-tier NFL athletes, it should be good enough for all of us. I would like to introduce you all to my speech. My name is Kyle Barnes. I was a 4-sport athlete in high school and a fan of all professional sports as well as collegiate athletics. Teen athletes should not specialize into a single sport. This claim will be supported with expert quotes, examples of successful multi-sport athletes, and statistics surrounding the arguments of multi versus single sport athletes as teens. As stated, 30 of the 32 first-round draft picks in the 2017 NFL Draft were multi-sport athletes in high school. Likewise, many experts today are pro multi-sport athletes. An example given here, the Clemson head football coach Dabo Sweeney. Clemson is a perennial powerhouse at the collegiate level. They've participated in multiple national championships in the last several years, and their head coach has made multiple comments regarding the recruitment of multi-sport athletes as all. He believes that playing multiple sports helps create better all-around athletes. You're in more environments, you're with different teammates in different locker rooms, experiencing different challenges that create a more well-rounded athlete at the end of their career. Likewise, Ohio State's head football coach Urban Meyer, for those of you who don't know, Ohio State is again a perennial powerhouse. Urban Meyer says he looks to recruit multi-sport athletes rather than single-sport athletes, as his recruiting process avidly looks for kids who run track, play basketball, as well as football. And those analytics and quotes were provided by Chelsea Eatle with the National Scouting Report. So it's a good site to use there. Likewise, some personal examples. I could stand here and tell you about my time playing 4 sports and the great things that I experienced through high school with that. But some better examples that probably would mean more to everyone are athletes like Randy Moss, who's a Hall of Fame wide receiver in the NFL, broke many records in his time. He was a standout in high school in basketball, track, football, and baseball. Tim Tebow was a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion quarterback at Florida, played football and baseball. He's now a professional baseball player after spending time in the NFL as a quarterback. Kyler Murray was this year's 9th overall pick in baseball. He's the Oklahoma center fielder. Likewise, he will be starting for Oklahoma at quarterback in the fall. Bo Jackson, probably the most well-known multi-sport athlete at the professional level, played football and baseball at the same time, a Hall of Fame talent in both of those. John Elway played football and baseball at the University of Stanford. Deion Sanders played professional football and baseball. He's the only athlete in the world to ever play in the World Series and a Super Bowl. And these statistics were given from this little website right down here. I'm going to provide the link so you can all check that out later. So those are some examples of professional athletes that have played multi-sports all their way growing up and have proven that you can maintain a well-rounded balance in that rather than having to specialize at a younger age, as those guys did it all the way up to their 20s and 30s. So I think it's a good point. Okay, and then lastly, the attributes of playing multiple sports that are always talked about. So originally you can talk about if you're a high school student and you're looking at going to college and you're trying to prove to somebody and you're applying for a scholarship that you can balance time, budget your time. Playing multiple sports shows that you can handle many responsibilities, and that's something that many workplaces today even look for in resumes, is how much you've done and what you've proven that you can handle so that they can give you work to do. Likewise, when we're talking about just playing sports in that regard, Drew Brees, Super Bowl quarterback, NFL MVP from the New Orleans Saints, has been outspoken in regards to the multi-sport versus single-sport athlete conversation. There's a whole long quote here that'll be linked as well. But Drew Brees said that him in his lifetime growing up, he played every sport you could, and today he attributes a lot of his footwork in the NFL to his time playing tennis. He notes that his time playing baseball and basketball helped develop several fundamentals that he still uses today, as well as just the competitive edge and how playing multiple sports rounds you into an athlete, and when that you have to specialize by the time you're 19, 20, that you're ready to do that. Likewise, this is a poll pulled from stack.com that made the point that of over 1,000 professional athletes that they polled, only 22.3% of professional athletes, so less than 1/4, said that they would choose to have their own child specialize into a sport in their adolescent years. And that poll was done by Patrick Buckley, Dr. Patrick Buckley in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So a couple of arguments that are often used in regards to why kids should specialize. The idea that it increases your recruiting and gives you a better chance of playing at the next level. Nearly 90% of all the players drafted in the NFL 2017 draft, the first round, like we talked about, was 30 of 32. And as that draft continued, of the 253 players drafted, nearly 90% were multi-sport athletes in high school. And then another argument that is often thrown around is injuries. A lot of baseball guys will say you shouldn't play football because if you get hurt playing football, you're going to miss your baseball season. Things of that matter. Patrick Buckley, again, in his same poll that he pulled earlier, talked about how specialized athletes, so athletes that play one sport, are 85% more likely to have lower extremity injuries than those that play multiple sports. So that would be like an ankle or a knee, things of that matter. So, and that poll was over 3,000 participants. So here to conclude, as I've stated, I could stand here and tell you about all the great things from playing multiple sports that I personally experienced in regards to going to state in multiple sports and the early practices with the team and the bondings you get with that. Like Coach Sweeney talked about earlier, in that you can't replace that with one sport, going from sport to sport with different guys, experiencing all the challenges and all the great things that happen there. But as the statistics have shown, and personal examples like Deion Sanders and Tim Tebow, multiple sport athletes can be as successful as specialized athletes at the highest level. And for those of us that aren't going to reach the NFL or the NBA, the experience are irreplaceable at the younger level. So I would challenge you all, the next time you're tasked with maybe pushing a kid to play multiple sports or specializing, to definitely consider the outcomes of both and push a child into playing multiple sports. So thank you.
Got it?
Yeah.